Welcome back to our lesson of Adobe After Effects. In our previous lesson, we learned about mask, but in this lesson, we are going to learn about shapes. Well, this is going to be a bit, bigger or say a longer video because there are going to be a lot of content which we are going to learn over here. Let's say one is going to be the basic shape, and the next one is going to be shapes with also animations. So let's just make it two parts of this video. One is going to be the basic, and then we are going to go off with the animation. Okay, so without any further ado, let's just jump into the lesson where we are going to learn all about the shapes and also about the animations which we can apply and also the shapes. First off, let me just delete all of them because I don't need any of these. I'm just going to do is delete, press on delete. Now I'm going to do is open up. Let's say I'm just going to use this main comp, delete. And as I have my main comp, I'm going to do is make up another composition, make it to be black, press on OK, and now I have my panel. Now, let's say I'm going to do is start off adding in my shape layer. Well, there is two methods of how you'll be able to do that. First is going to be go off the layer, just the same way, click on new, you will find out shape layer, just like we did on solid layer. Click on shape layer, but there is literally no, let's say, no shortcut key assigned for it. So I'm going to click on this, and now you can see that I have my shape here. I'm going to click on fill and use whichever one I want, and then the fill has been selected and also my shape has been created. From here you can select on the stroke. Let's say I'm going to type in 10, press on OK, then I have a 10 size stroke. And you can also add in whatever you want, but I'm going to go into that later on. So you'll be able to do that. You can also see the tool create task, and also you can see the tool creates shape. Okay, you can also add in Bezier path, then you'll be able to apply or make changes to it however you want. Okay, and then if you want to rotate it, just make sure that your anchor is wherever you want that to be placed. As I want it in the center, as it is also on the center, I'm going to click on this tool of Y, and then you'll be able to rotate it however you want. That's totally up to you. If you just press on shift, and then it will just directly get back to its actual self, or keep straight. Then the next thing I'm going to do is select on this tool, and then what happens if you just press on this, let's say I'm going to click on this tool, and you'll be able to make changes on it if you press on Control and Alt. And then you'll be able to change it just like this and also see the result of it. Press on Alt, and then you will see the side of it is changing. Okay, and now you can see that I have 3 of them. So if you just press on Alt, it will also make copies of the layer which you are using. But most of the time I don't actually use layers, but you can also make up your layer from over here, shape layer, and the same thing will appear up. But as I don't want it, you will also find out that there will be no content in between. So if I create a shape, and then it will contain that shape content, but I don't want it, so I'm going to click on delete. Okay, I'm just going to do it just a fast way if you want to do it. But one thing is that when you click on this shape layer, even if you are selected on this selection tool, and let's say I'm going to do it again, I'm going to click on layer, click on new, and when I press on shape layer, you will see that it will directly change to the rectangle tool. See, I didn't even do anything, but it just moved on to this rectangle tool. So basically what happens is that it allows you to make the shapes. So obviously it's going to prioritize the shapes which you're going to apply. So I'm going to do is click on this rectangle tool. I'm going to do is make up my shape, and that also directly helps you to make up your own shape or your shape layer which you are applying in your composition. But here what you're going to do is just click on the color. Let's say I'm going to click on this, press on OK, and we are done. I'm going to click on this tool, and then I will also be able to change it however I want. If you press on tab, and yet you will see that you will be able to change it however you want it to be. Okay, then we have a lot of things which you can do by using these options. Let's say I'm going to select on this, and then you will see how it actually looks like. Well, this is basically snap along edges, and this is snap to show features. I'm going to select all of them. I'm going to select on that, and I'm going to do is press on it. And if you want to navigate through it, just hold on to your scroll key or your scroll button, and then you'll be able to do it. Then select on this. Let's say I'm going to click on over here. And then you have our content, which is our rectangle over here, right? Then we have is path, stroke, fill, and transform rectangle. From here, click on this path one, which is going to be path, and you can select whichever side you want to use. Then we have is our stroke. In our stroke, we have wave, taper, dashes, and then we have meter limit, and then line, join, stroke width, and all of those. We also have color. This is stroke one, and we also have like fill options. You can use whichever one you want. And then we have is like transform, and in our transform we have is skew axis, rotation, and opacity. Well, these like appear up most of the times, and it is like quite useful. So this is our rectangle. What I'm gonna do is deselect all of them, and if you want to increase the size of it or like see more of it, you will be able to do that. Well, now as there are a lot of these contents, you will be able to change them however you want. Let's say we have our rotation, skew, and all of those. Let's try and see how it actually works. You can see the skew works like this, and the skew axis, you will be able to do that too. You can see the changes it is making. You'll be able to change that over here, and also fix out your diagonal, and also like however you want it to be. See? So then you can fix out your position, the anchor, and all of those. And if you want to rotate it, just select on this tool and rotate it however you want. Then I'm going to click on the selection tool, which is going to be this one. And as we also have like made some changes over here, I'm going to do is I'm going to do is cut this off. And as I'm quite done with this, just click on this transform. You'll find these other options too. From here, you can use these options of motion blur and all of those too. That's like totally up to you how you're going to work with it. But I'm going to do is keep it to be 3D. Okay, so as this is 3D right now, what I'm going to do is going to be add some other shapes, which is quite similar. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to do is, as I've deleted my part, I'm going to do is you will be able to use this 3D graph tool too. But if you don't want to, just click on this 3D option and back again, and that will be removed. Now I'm going to do is right click on this rectangle tool, and in our right like tool, I'm going to do is use other ones. Let's say I'm going to press on Q. And in our queue, let's say there are going to be other tools such as, which is going to be somewhere around, let's say circle. Then we have is like triangle and all of those. We're going to use that. As you can see from over here, that we have our other tools too. So I'm going to do is click on ellipse tool. First thing I'm going to do is going to be removing this layer. And I'm just going to make up my layer or make up my shape. And from here, what you're going to do is just hold on to shift so that you get a perfect sized, circle or ellipse. I'm going to click on the selection tool, and then you basically have it, or you can like move it wherever you want. That's also like totally up to you how you're going to work with it. You can like rotate it, even though if it's like not that visible, but you can make some changes on it however you want. We can also do the same thing by using, let's say, more tools. There are like star tools and all of those. We can use them however we want. So let's say I'm going to do is remove this one too, delete, and I'm going to click on this option, and then we have polygon tool, star tool. Let's say I'm going to use this polygon tool. Do is make it somewhere like this and keep it around over here. And I'm going to do is keep it somewhere around here. And then you'll be able to make some changes however you want. Let's say I'm going to click on this and see, you can rotate it. You can use your scroll key to make more changes. Let's say I'm going to click on this. What I'm going to do is hold on to Alt or Control. First I'm going to do is rotate it just like this. And we have these tools of roto brush and also puppet position. You can also keep using them however you want. Okay, let's say this is the puppet position. I can see you will be able to put it wherever you want. I'm going to click on the selection tool again. Now you see you have the layer, and also we have this puppet position where it's going to be something like this. See, it looks a lot, it looks better when we are using something like this. It's like an arrow that is like being placed over here. So now you have a different type of result or different type of, decoration which you can use. But I'm going to do is delete it because I don't want it. Then we also have other tools such as star tool. I'm going to do is make up the star, hold on to shift so that I get a perfect one. And then another thing is that you can also use Bezier over here. Just click on these options, hold on to it, click on add, and you'll be able to use, let's say, whichever one you want. Let's say I want zigzags. Then you'll also get the zigzags on the outer layer. See, this is like very simple. And you will be able to, make changes on them too on one side independently if you want to. See, this is like very simple to work with. You can do the same thing on each and every ones. And another thing is that just hold on to it, and we're gonna find out the pivot. And you can also apply on snapping if you want to, and change it however you want, or select wherever you want to make the change on. Then select on this tool, and then you'll be able to rotate it, keeping the pivot on that side. I'm gonna click on this rotate tool, and then I'm gonna do is rotate it however I want. Okay, this is like very simple to work with. Just hold on to it and just rotate however you want. So now you know like almost all of the things about these shapes, are these 4 shapes which we use right now. But there is also this tool of rounded rectangle tool. But if you are using like an older version of Adobe After Effects, you will mainly find out that there is an option called roundness, okay, in the properties or the layer properties, and then you'll be able to do it or use it. But in this newer version of Adobe After Effects, you can make up rounded, rectangles on your own. From here, you have to like fix on path 1 and then fix it up. Just press on F if you want to use like, feathers and all of those. But you can also go off to transform and also content, and make sure to open up this rectangle 1, then transform rectangle, and then use however you want it to be. Now from here, what you're gonna do is zoom in and select the ones which you want to use. Let's say I'm gonna make it something like this, and you can see both of them are selected. What I'm gonna do is going to be selecting on this tool, and from here you will find out this Bezier over here, and then you'll be able to make more rounded corners just the way you want it to be. Okay, you can keep it like this, and obviously you will still have rounded corners, and you'll be able to use fill and stroke however you want as well. So now we know about these shapes and how these actually work. I'm going to delete them, okay, and both of them are now deleted. Now the next thing we're going to learn about is going to be the animations that you are going to try to apply in the specific shapes. So in the specific shapes, we have 4 or 5 of them, which is rectangle, rounded rectangle tool, ellipse tool, polygon tool, and also star tool.